Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a presentation on financial stability in the 21st century. So this is just a disclaimer to say that I am not a financial advisor. If you wish financial advice, please go to a qualified tax or investment advisor. I'm just showing you a way that other people have become financially stable. Right. If you can, we suggest reading these three books from Robert T. Kiyosaki: Cash Flow Quadrant, The Guide to Investing, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. All of these are books that help you understand how finance is and where it is going. Now, this is a cash flow quadrant from one of his books. Basically, the 4 ways to produce income. If we have a look at the top left, you have your E for employee. You have a job, just over broke. Basically, you pay everything at the end of the month, but there's not much left after. Quite a few of us know that. There's no leverage on the side, as 5% of the wealth is shared on the left-hand side. How much time you put in, how much money you get out. If you have a look at your bottom left, you have your S for self-employed. You own a job, also just over broke. These are your lawyers, your doctors. If they don't go to work, they don't really earn. There's still no leverage because 95% of the population is on this side. How much time you put in, how much money you get out. Now, let's have a look at the right-hand side. If we look at the top right, you have your B for your business owner. You own a system. So this is your Woolworths, your Checkers, your Pick n Pay, any big franchise. Doesn't matter if you're not at work, other people work for you. There's leverage on the side because 95% of the wealth is here. How many people you have working for you, how much money you make. So the more you have, the more you earn. If we have a look at the bottom right, which is where we're trying to help everyone understand and get into, is your I for investor. You own investments. So this is your mining packages, your investment in gold from 1980, if you are that old or older than a lot of us. There's leverage here as well because 5% of the population are on the right-hand side. Your money works for you, so you buy a mining package or shares in gold and it brings returns for you. Now, let's have a look at the next one. This is how money evolved throughout the ages. We started at the barter system. So I gave you a leg of lamb for a fish. Not very effective, but it's what was used. Then you have your gold standard. This was stopped because they could only ever print as much money as there was gold to back it up. If we had to do that now, quite a lot of the money would disappear. So reason being, if you went into the bank and you gave them 50 Rand and said you want 50 Rands worth of gold, they had to give it to you. They don't do it that much these days. Then you have your metal coins. We're all still busy using those, as well as the paper money. Lovely fiat currency. Then you have your plastic cards, those lovable things that people swipe to get into debt, and your online banking, another evolution. And then the most recent is your cryptocurrencies. This is your Bitcoin, your Litecoin, your Ethereum, all those digital currencies. Now, this is a video to help explain what is Bitcoin.
Do you want to know what Bitcoin really is? Before it attracted the attention of thousands of people, in October 2008, an internet user known as Satoshi Nakamoto suggested the idea of a new, independent currency. The open-source version of Bitcoin code was released 2 months later. The first block in the Bitcoin blockchain was created, and that was the rise of Bitcoin. Since then, Bitcoin has changed the way society views global finance and banking. The fees are relatively low for transactions, and funds can be transferred in a short period of time, regardless of the amount and the distance between both sides. There is no central authority overseeing the transactions because the Bitcoin network is decentralized, in contrast to the banks. The total possible supply is limited to 21 million Bitcoins, which will be reached in the year 2140. Bitcoins are stored in digital wallets that are accessible only to the owners of the wallets. They can easily be used to buy goods or services both digitally and physically. All trades are carried out in a peer-to-peer network based on nodes called the blockchain. The network requires computational power provided by miners, machines built specially for mining Bitcoin, to make those transactions secure and less susceptible to fraud. Each transaction is verified by miners to be approved. The identity of users might be hidden while the user follows a few simple rules. Nowadays, Bitcoin is considered a great investment. It's encrypted, simple, and convenient. Discover the life-changing opportunity of Bitcoin mining.
I think if we all understood how big Bitcoin would have become, we'd have jumped on the bandwagon when it started. Now, this is how bank payments versus Bitcoin payments work. It also explains a bit more on the verification of each transaction.
When you want to buy something normally, using your normal bank card, this is what happens. I give my card details to the shop asks the bank if I'm good for the money. The bank checks its records to see if I've got enough in my account. If I do, it lets the shop know. It updates its records to show the movement of money from my account to the shop's. Oh, and it takes a little cut for its trouble. Now, if you wanted to remove the bank from that system, who else would you trust to keep those records and not alter them or cheat in any way? Well, I wouldn't trust you. I wouldn't trust you. In fact, I wouldn't trust any single person, but I might trust everyone. The idea is you don't have a central record of transactions. Instead, you distribute many, many copies of this ledger around the world. Each owner of each copy records every transaction. So, to buy something using cryptocurrency, I give the shop my details. The shop asks all the bookkeepers if I'm good for the money. The bookkeepers all check their records to see if I have enough. If I do, they tell the shop, and then all update their records to show the movement of money. So there's no way that a forged transaction can make it in. If I try to alter a ledger, it won't match all of the other copies, and it gets rejected. Oh, and one of them, at random, will be given a reward of some newly created cryptocurrency. This is how cryptocurrencies work. And remember, all of these bookkeepers, all of these ledgers, they're not actually people, they're computers. Lots of computers.
Okay, so that's how clarified how Bitcoin and bank payments work. Now, if we have a look at what is Bitcoin mining. Basically, Bitcoin mining plays two major roles in maintaining the Bitcoin network. So if you have a look at the left, it's confirming of transactions. So confirming that you paid your cousin in Australia however many Bitcoins you sent. And also the issuing of new coins. This is done when a block is mined. Now, we call the people who use their computer resources miners, because they're trying to get the resources of Bitcoins. Now, this is further explanation on blockchain as well as Bitcoin mining.
When a large number of people are making huge profits from their relatively small investments, heads turn. In this case, the drama is even greater because people around the world are making money off of another obscure form of money.
Bitcoin.
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 Let's start with what it is. Bitcoin is a digital currency. It's completely intangible, so unlike dollars, there aren't any bills or coins. And Bitcoin transactions happen digitally, anonymously, and without the help of any banks or middlemen. You can already use it to book hotels, shop online, and some restaurants like Subway even accept Bitcoin. So you're probably wondering how Bitcoin gets printed or how you could send Bitcoin without the help of a bank. For this, you can thank blockchain technology. Let's talk about the blockchain. When you Venmo your friends, there's a bank to oversee, approve, and log that transaction. The bank acts like a middleman that we've all entrusted to supervise our money. Banks can also charge you fees, freeze your account, and they can also be vulnerable to major data breaches. That just doesn't exist with Bitcoin. Instead, Bitcoin uses blockchain technology. It's what allows us to cut out that middleman and send money directly to each other. So instead of a bank monitoring every transaction, a network of computers are verifying every transaction. Kind of like the way thousands of people monitor any given Wikipedia page to ensure its accuracy. Back to the blockchain. With blockchain, every new transaction comes in the form of a block that's permanently linked to the one before it. And it's connected to the next one and so on. So if a bad actor tried to tamper with one of these blocks, it could destroy the entire chain. And many computers on the network, think about those Wikipedia editors, would notice that something went wrong. And here's where Bitcoin mining comes in. Lots of computers are working to maintain this network, approve transactions, and hold the network accountable without the help of a middleman, like a bank. It takes a lot of computing energy to maintain this network of transactions and records, so the network rewards the people to help keep it running. Those are the Bitcoin miners. So when a computer helps maintain the Bitcoin network, it receives a Bitcoin in return. But there isn't an unlimited supply of Bitcoin. Instead, the Bitcoin rulebook states that there are just 21 million Bitcoin available. And in part, it's that scarcity that drives the value of Bitcoin. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement over Bitcoin, but the real innovation here is with blockchain technology. It can be used for so much more than just verifying Bitcoin transactions and other cryptocurrencies. Think about how we could cut out middlemen in many industries and use it to verify health records, legal documents, and private securities. Bitcoin is really just the beginning.
It definitely was just the beginning. Now, how you can participate in Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. If you have a look on the left, you can use Luno, which is a digital wallet that we use in South Africa. You can buy and hold. So you can put money into Luno from your bank account, say 100 Rand. You can buy 100 Rand worth of Bitcoin and keep it for 3 years and you'll make a profit. But when you sell it, you're out of the game. It doesn't quite help. The same for altcoin trader. Also, buy and hold. Then if you have a look at Mining City, in this you can buy packages in which you can mine Bitcoin, and even if you transfer all the Bitcoins you have to date out, it'll still keep mining for you. Keeps you in the game. Now, these are the mining packages that Mining City offers. If we have a look at the right, your gold plan, we'll call it a Ferrari. It's $3,500 plus minus 67,000. You mine for 1,100 days guaranteed, starts mining 10 days after purchase. Then we have a look at the silver, $2,000 plus minus 40,000, also 1,100 days guaranteed, starts mining 10 days after purchase. Bronze at $1,000 plus minus 22,000 Rand, 1,100 days of mining, also guaranteed. Starts mining 10 days after purchase. Then you have your standard plan of $500 plus minus 12,000, also 1,100 days of mining, also 10 days after purchase. Reason 10 days after purchase? They need time to set up the machine to your account. The machine mines for you and no one else. Now, this is roughly the profit ratios. These are all estimates. It goes up and down. If they have increased since I've checked, all the greater. So if we have a look at the gold, from 1,000 to 3.5, decent profits. On your silver, 800 to 1,700, also fair. Then your bronze, 700 to 1,100, okay, you can live. Your standard is 150 to 500, okay, it's a sample of what you can make. Now, the exciting news brought from Mining City, Bitcoin Vault. Mining City's own digital currency. So, if we have a look at it, if you have a look at the Bitcoin, there's roughly 3 million coins still to be mined. It's not a lot considering there was 21 million, but there's still something. Now, a Bitcoin Vault, considering it is still young and fresh in the market, is roughly 21 million still to be mined. So if you get in now, all the best. Greater rewards when it's older as well. Now, Mining City is going to make it half each and every month. What I mean when I say half is the amount of coins in each block is going to be halved every 6 months until 2024. Reason being, they want its price to catch up to Bitcoin's price. So, more value for what you already have in such a shorter time. Now, the Vault mining packages, pretty much the same as the previous ones. Excuse my numbers, I see I forgot to change them. So if we have a look at the gold option, it was roughly 67, also 1,100 days of mining, 10 days after start. Reason being, they need to set the machine up to your account. The silver was 40, also 1,100 days. Understand, these prices go up with the value to the dollar to the rand. Then we have a look at the bronze, which is 22, 1,100 days. Also 10 days after purchase. Then you have your standard at 12,000, 1,100 days, 10 days after purchase as well. Now, the other great thing that Mining City is having a look at is your crypto debit cards. Basically, what you do is you can buy the card from Mining City, you can put the Bitcoin you've mined onto it or your vault, and then you can swipe it like any other card that you have, cutting out the bank and any other middleman in between. So if you have a look at the silver, you can spend roughly about $5,000 each day. I don't know if I could survive, I'm not sure about you. Then you have the gold, which is roughly 10. Okay, I can breathe. Then your black card at $15,000 each and every day. Okay, the breathing's a lot easier now. Now we just need to wait for these cards to come and join. Now, how you can become an investor. This is the bottom right block of the quadrant, if you guys can remember. So you start mining after 10 working days. How do you do it? You buy an investor's plan, so either a plan in Bitcoin mining or Vault. You have your daily Bitcoin and Vault payout at 11 o'clock at night. It is 100% passive. You have done nothing for it other than buy a plan. There's no maintenance plan. You don't need to wait for an invoice from Mining City saying it's going to cost you 1,000 Rand to service your machine. They take care of it for you. You pay in once and never again. How is this? It's when you bought the plan. Now, those of you that wish to make this a network business and earn a little more profit, shall we say, well, you can't really say a little. This is how you can do it. So now, let's have a look at 5 different ways you can earn an income. Your full shares bonus, $200 binary cycle bonus, your $10 binary team matching bonus, your repurchase and partial shares bonus, and your builder rank residual infinity bonus. So let's have a look at full shares. You have your team A and your team B. Team A is person number 1 to 5. If you manage to get 5 people to buy a plan, you get 5% of any plan that they buy. Now, Team B is from person number 6 onwards. So if you get 200 people from person number 6 to 200, you get 10% of any plan they buy. Quite nice as well. Now, if you wish to grow a bit further, you need at least one builder in your Team A. It's a yellow dude in the middle, number 3, and at least 2 in your Team B, person number 9 and onwards. These help you build your tree as well as your business. This might look like a pyramid, but it isn't a pyramid, please. We're not here to take your money, we're here to help you grow and be financially stable. So let's have a look at the binary tree. At the top left, each package is assigned credits. Your standard is 1, your bronze is 2, your silver is 4, and your gold is 7. This works for the Bitcoin packages as well as the Vault packages. Now, every cycle you earn $200. That's plus minus 3,000 Rand for each cycle. How a cycle works. The system looks, it wants 5 credits on your left and 5 on your right. So if Johnny at top left buys a gold for 7 credits and Martin on the top right also buys a gold for 7, the system will take 5 on each side and give you $200 for a job well done. Quite easy money, I must admit. Now, this is a team business. We help you grow. So the people in the circles at the bottom are called spillover. This one, somewhere up along the very massive tree, sees, okay, you need someone to help you cycle. So they managed to get someone to buy in and they place them there and help you cycle. Great news. Now, your binary team matching bonus. You get $10 for every binary matching bonus for every $200 cycled in your tree. So if 3 people in your tree cycle, you get $10 for each cycle. The system sees this as you having helped them to spill over to cycle. So it'll give you $10 for a reward. So 3 cycles, $30. And all you did was help someone get $200. Quite nice. Your repurchase and partial shares bonus. Basically, this is when 1% of any mining plan is rebought. So on plan 1, you're $500. In Team A, 10% of that plan, you get on the 1% they bought. So the 1% of the plan is $5, 10% of that is 50 cents that you're given. Team B, you get 20% of the share that's bought, so you get $1. Plan 2, you're 1,000, that's your bronze. You get 10% of a share that's bought, it's $1. On your Team B, you'll get 20% of any share that's bought is $2. This, at the end of the day, is what generates the most of your income. This is how you get your mining package to keep mining long after it's initially bought. With each partial share, it'll mine for 1,100 days each share. Now, your plan 3, your $2,000, this is your silver. 10% of any share bought is $2. On Team B, 20% of any share bought is $4. Okay, now let's go back to the cycles per day. If you build the tree right and you wish to become a massive network marketer, you start off as a citizen. You can start off with 4 cycles a day. That's $800. Just for helping other people become financially free. It's quite nice. Then you have your city builder at 5 times a day for $1,000. You are given all of this money at 11 o'clock at night each day if you get people to come in each and every day. Your city developer is 6 times a day for $1,200. Your city manager at 8 for $1,600. Then your city chief manager of 10 times a day for $2,000, and your city mayor 12 times a day for $2,400. After a while, the $2,400 becomes quite a bit of change, ladies and gentlemen. Now, how the ranking system works. Citizen, you haven't brought anyone in, you only have 1 share of a mining plan. Then you have your city builder. They managed to get 5 people to buy in and become financially stable, and have a total sales of 10,000. Understand, the 10,000 is not just them, but also the people under them that manage to get other people to buy in. Then you have your city developer, who has 3 city builders underneath them and has a total sales of $50,000. Team effort, ladies and gentlemen, not just your work. Then you have your city manager. You need 3 city developers, total sales of $250,000. Then you have your city chief managers, who has 3 city managers under them, as well as $2 million worth of sales in their entire team. At this point in time, there's a lot of people helping other people. It is possible. Then you have your city mayors, who has 3 city chief managers underneath them, and a total sales of $10 million. Quite interesting. Now, those of you that are still suspicious and think this is a scam, this isn't a scam. These certificates help prove it. You're more than welcome to go and research them. They'll come back as true. Now, the certification of cooperation and agreement provided mining equipment and power and maintenance. The provider of the service is Minebase. The recipient of the service is Profitec, and the benefactor is Mining City. Any of you that buy a package, you become part of Mining City. So they also provide electricity and land supply for 5 years in Kazakhstan. Since this has been done, the economy has improved by 5%. Quite a wise decision on their president's behalf. Now, let's have a look at Minebase City. So, as you saw, there were machines being packed and loaded up. That is a machine assigned to a specific person for a specific amount. So if you buy gold, it gets told to mine this much. That's why it takes 10 days. Now, Minebase City is already there. As you saw, they're still busy building more containers as well as more machine miners.
Minebase City, a world-class development project by Minebase, a leader in blockchain technology development. A place like no other, devoted to cryptocurrency mining and all blockchain computing activities. Powered by 200 megawatts of green energy, generated by a hydroelectric power plant for a competitive electricity price, with an on-site power substation and transformers to convert 220 kilovolts to 0.4 kilovolts for mining equipment. A place to house not just a crypto data center and 120,000 miners, but also modern amenities, a generous office space, a reception with a spacious lounge area, and a conference center for the use of everyone visiting the facility. Unique in concept and design, true to purpose, but also looking to the future with highly automated infrastructure. Minebase City offers hospitality to both clients and visitors, with a place for all crypto computing requirements, and an in-house repair center and technical facility. Minebase City, created to set new standards in crypto computing and mining, legalized by the government with the benefits of reduced taxation. It is a place that caters for all needs, now and tomorrow. Welcome to Minebase City, the world's first legalized crypto computing data center. Join us and share in our vision today.
Yes, all the best for that place. It really is massive and we really are helping us all. Now, this is the president who's also bought in, I'll explain a bit more later, and what he thinks about blockchain.
We are also going to focus, yes, on the fourth industrial revolution, get into blockchain, in a most meaningful way, the Internet of Things. And they spoke extremely well. What they were saying was most moving, it was engaging, it was touching, very touching. Somebody who was watching it online, on stream, overseas, sent me a message on my cell phone and said, this is most touching. It was also informative, because I think many of us will have learned a lot from blockchain to cryptocurrency to all those things. Most informative.
Author and amongst various other enterprises, he is developing the first black-owned cryptocurrency platform. He is a highly qualified blockchain expert, and yet his passion lies in social issues and the upliftment of African citizens.
Nda Limadekwana batho bote. My name is Mpho Tagada and I am the author of the best-selling book, Mr. Bitcoin. I'm a blockchain specialist and have spearheaded the blockchain technology revolution in South Africa and on the African continent. Blockchain technology is an emerging space in the world, with a PwC report saying that 84% of companies in South Africa and globally are looking to implement blockchain technology. Now, for those who may be wondering what is blockchain technology, let me paint this picture for you. In about 10 years' time, my self-driving car will be driving on the road and will ask your self-driving car to give it way so that it may overtake because I'm in a hurry. My self-driving car will be able, after doing that process, to tip your self-driving car by sending it 10 Rand on a blockchain system. This is the world that we're gearing ourselves for. The Internet of Things, powered by blockchain technology. It is very near before us. The world is more interconnected than it's ever been before. Global markets are all looking at making payments simpler and easier to access. They're looking at making machinery communicate with one another for effective produce. South Africa, through the Reserve Bank and many stakeholders, has been very active and progressive within the digital space, having machinery working with artificial intelligence to better our systems. Now, it's no secret that the world becoming more digital is a threat to jobs. And that is why I commend our president, because he has set forth a fourth industrial revolution commission, basically set to assist digital transformation in the country, to ensure that the country is able to compete globally and thrive within the digital place. Our president has not taken a back seat when it comes to the digital revolution. He's actually chairing this important commission. We can't ignore the fact that the world is changing. We can't ignore that the biggest companies in the world are now digital companies. Your Facebooks, your Amazons, your Google. We too, as Africans, need to participate, dominate, and rule in these sectors. Together, we move our country forward. Thank you.
Okay. Now, to help prove further that we aren't a scam or a bunch of scammers, Mining City in South Africa was launched on the 26th of October 2019. This was the event where the CEO of Mining City arrived and helped the launch. So, if we have a look at the right photo, we have our team leader, Bertus, and his wife, Krista. Lovely ladies, they'll help you every step of the way if you ask for help. With Mr. Bitcoin, as you saw in the previous video. Then you have Greg with Bertus in the middle, and John on the left with Bertus and Krista. He's a manager in Mining City. He gets roughly 1.5 Bitcoins each day. Lovely income. Then you have Eel on the top right from MineBest with Bertus and Krista. And then you have pictures of the event as well as how people enjoyed it. Now, This is our president, sorry for my stutter, Mr. Ramaphosa with eel from MindBest. I can assure you, there definitely was a few packages bought. Now, my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, do you wish to be financially unstable or financially free? Thank you for your time. Should any of you have any questions, I will unmute you all. Feel free to ask any of them.